Vaibhav. In today's session, we are seeing the Dow Jones Industrial Average consolidating around the 31,000 levels, and it looks like that after making the all-time highs, it is entering into an consolidation phase, and we are more likely to see the sideways momentum prevailing in the larger part of this week. So, in today's session, we will see how we can play out these changing trend in the Dow Jones Industrial Average and try to figure out the optimum entry and exit points. If we look at the data rocket for the day, apart from the China CPI numbers, we didn't really get many major releases so far in the day, even for the US session. It is almost blank. And if we look at the data which we got for China, the Chinese numbers were better in the sense that these were better than the expectations and a lot better than the prior month's reading, where the China was experiencing the deflation. Now, for the month of December, the China's CPI is back in positive territory. If we look at the year-on-year growth, there is a 0.2% rise, and in terms of month-on-month, the CPI is up 0.7%. And we also got the retail sales numbers for Australia, which were also quite robust, in line with the expectations and a lot higher than the prior release. So that was the major data which was on the positive side. And then if we look at the equity story for the European trading session, it was mildly negative. We saw almost flat to negative equity moves in the euro area, and now as the US session is getting underway, we are indeed seeing some buying closer to the 30,800 zone, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average is adding some quick gains, and it will be interesting to see if those gains will be sustained as the session moves forward. So let's start with our technical outlook. First, we will consider the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and then we will see the USD JPY's momentum. Dow Jones Industrial Average first. This is the daily time frame chart, and here, after making the all-time highs, we are seeing some correction happening in today's session, and because of that, we are seeing some mild losses. Not much in percentage terms also, but the Dow Jones Industrial Average has indeed started in the negative territory, and it is trying to climb back above the 31,000 level. And if we look at the price trajectory, it has been all uphill, and after climbing to this summit, even if it goes into an sideways momentum and remains in consolidation phase, I think that should be pretty much on the expected lines, and we will be better. It will be better for us to adapt the scalping strategies instead of looking for the big swing trades at this point in time. So if we look at the near-term technical outlook, we have this resistance in play around 31,000, and for the today's session, the Dow Jones Industrial Average has mostly spent its time below it, and the regression curve is still tilted on the positive side. So on the lower side, we do have to watch out for some key levels, and as long as those levels are intact, we can continue to play with its initial momentum, which is on the bullish side. If we take into consideration pivot point formation, the pivot point series is still pointing to the bullish momentum prevailing. It's just that this minor resistance is there, and anything above it, and we will have more confirmation to go for the fresh long opportunities, where we can even bet on new all-time highs being formed about the 31,200, which we saw in last week. So we can look for further 300 to 400 points gains if the Dow Jones Industrial Average is able to hold about 31,000 in today's session, and from that perspective, the today's session is indeed crucial. I think I haven't included the Dow Jones Industrial Average hourly chart. So here I would like to give the Stop loss and target price based on the 4 hourly chart only. Here we will have to rely on these first resistance, and now it has stalled the Dow Jones Industrial Average upward momentum, but given the fact that larger trend is still positive, and even the pivot point series is pointing to the continuation of that, we will have to see how the price action plays out, and anything about this, and if we see the days close about 31,000, I think that will give more reasons for the market participants to remain bullish, and in next couple of sessions we might see some gains on the higher side. But if it fails to do that, and day ends below it and the momentum remains subdued, then maybe in tomorrow's session we will have to take the fresh look, and we might see some correction happening. But I'm not looking for shorting, not yet. We will have to see how the price action unfolds in today's session, and that is going to be the key thing to watch out for. Now moving on to the USD JPY's technical outlook. This is the daily time frame chart, and after a remarkable recovery, the USD JPY has climbed back closer to this resistance line, and it will be interesting to see how it is going to play out in this couple of sessions. If we look at these substantial gains, then the USD JPY has been doing quite well, and now that it is trading above 104, even the near-term outlook has turned bullish, and I am not really expecting any immediate sell-off to resume in the USD JPY. And one key development on the fundamental side is also the US Treasury yields, which have climbed back about 1 percentage point, and that has helped in the turnaround of sentiments regarding the US dollar. So looking at that, I think on the lower side we have to watch out for this price zone around the central pivot point, which is there around 103.6, and we can adapt the buy on dip strategy in the USD JPY. And if we see that there is some sort of correction in the USD JPY, and if it consolidates above this immediate support area, then I think we can continue to look for buying opportunities, and in due course of time the USD JPY can even be expected to climb above this immediate hurdle, that is the first resistance of this month's pivot point series. The regression curve has also flattened, and if the price action remains in the upper band of this regression curve, then not long we will see that this curve will bend on the upper side, and we will see the inclination turning bullish, and more market participants will have the reasons to believe that the bearish phase is behind, at least in short to medium term, and we can look for some bullish momentum in the USD JPY. So if we want to you go for the optimum entry and exit points, this immediate swing low formed in the Friday's trading session is going to be the key marker, and I think if we are going to go for any long trade anywhere closer to 104, the stop loss can be placed below this. I think this 100 SMA, which is there around 103.5, is going to be our marker, and we can simply keep the stop loss below it while looking for the buy opportunity anywhere closer to this consolidation phase price zone, and that should be good enough from the risk reward perspective. Also, if we are going in for the USD JPY buy above or closer to 104, and I think the price action is still bullish, so keeping that in mind, on the higher side we can indeed target the price zone closer to the 105, and for our requirement of 1:2, that V is going to be sufficient enough, that is going to be good enough. So from that perspective also, I think the opportunities are there, but of course we will need some sort of correction from the current valuations, and then do consolidation. And if we are fortunate enough to get that, then we will have our desired criterion met, and we can look for fresh trading opportunities in today's session itself, or maybe in tomorrow's session. So that's it from my side for today's session. If any of you have any query or any idea to share, you can write to me in the comment section, and I will be more than happy to take the discussion forward. Before I sign off, I would also like to remind of the risk associated with trading in the financial instrument, and one should be careful while using the information provided. Have a fabulous day ahead. Do subscribe to the Ducoscopy webinar channel. Goodbye.